becomes 4, condition turns out to be false. So what happens? It comes to this line, that is printf \n. So now your cursor is going to be coming to the new line. Then I increment part will be executed. So I becomes 4. I is less than equal to 4. Yes, condition is true. So again J loop will be executed. 1. So it will print star. Then 2. Again next star. Then 3. Again next star. 4. Again next star. Right. Now we have reached to the point 4 is less than equal to 4. Then it becomes 5. So condition comes out to be false. So it will go to the statement after it, that is printf \n. So it will come here. So your part will be here. Now from here what happens? From this point it will go back to I++. So now your I becomes 5. 5 is less than equal to 4. No, it is not. So what happens? It will go immediately after this outer loop, that is after this brace here, whatever statement you have specified. So in this way we can print the pattern program. I have written only the logic part. You must add appropriate things before it and after it. I hope this is understood, and we will move further. We also have jumping allowed in loops by using break and continue statement. As this example, you can see that I equal to 1, I is less than equal to 10, I++. In for loop I have given this statements. Now when the I equal to 1, the condition is true, that is I is less than 10. So condition is true. So it will go inside the loop. Now it will check if I is equal to 5. No, I is not equal to 5. So it will not go inside this. From here it will again increment I++. Then I becomes 2. Again condition is true. It goes inside. I equal to 5 is not true. So it will not go inside this. Again I becomes 3, 4. Once I becomes 5, it will go inside this if condition, and we have specified as break. Now break will take you out of the loop in which it is specified. So break is specified in this for I loop. So it will take you out of this for I loop. Break, you have also studied break in switch case statement. There it was allowing you to take to exit from switch case statements, overall switch case statement, the case which is executed, and if you have specified break at the end of that case value, it will take you out of the switch case. Now in this case, break is going to allow you to exit from the loop where you have specified it. I hope this is clear to you. Now what is the use of continue? If instead of break I write here continue, what happens? If there were some more statements below this, they would be skipped and it will go to the next iteration. Continue takes you to the next iteration of your loop. So the difference between break and continue, I hope it is understood. Break exits out from the loop and continue takes to you to the next iteration. Whatever you have specified after continue will be skipped. Let us see few demo programs. This is a simple program which prints the pattern. You can see this is the pattern I want to print, right? I'll just redraw over here. Right, this is my pattern. Now how to understand the basic logic of pattern? If I divide this into number of rows and columns, okay, this way I can use variable I for individual row and j for individual column. Now total number of rows I am saying as n. I must try to find some relationship if possible. From here we can observe that in first line there are 4 symbols. For example, n equal to 4, 3, 4, n equal to 4. So in first line there are 4 symbols printed. Whatever symbol you are printing, here we are printing asterisk, then you have 3 symbols, then you have 2 symbols, and then you have 1 symbol. Now I can do one thing. In order to print this pattern, I must try to find some logic. some relationship between I, j, n if possible. Now let us see what is done in this program. I have taken 4 variables t, n, I, j for my loop. After that, clear screen, it will clear my output screen, printf, enter number of lines. Now whenever any program is given to you, we must first try to know what are the values that we are going to take from the user. Now in this case, the value that I am going to take from the user or from the keyboard is the value of n, because I want to know the number of rows I need in this pattern, right? So number of rows I need should be given as an input by the programmer or by the user. So n is my number of rows, total lines I want to print. Then I am storing the number of rows in t, that I will explain further. Then this is just for giving new line. Now you observe this for loop. What happens here? Now for I, the I loop, I am using it for going towards each row. As you can see, I have specified here for each row I am going to use index I, and for column I am going to use j. So here I equal to 1. I want to go how many rows? 4 rows. So I less than equal to n. I hope this is clear. Then you have increment part, because I want to move from 1 to n. Then within this loop, now in each row you can see that I have to print individual characters, right? So in each row I can specify this is one column, this is another column, this is another column, right? So here my j loop is going to be executed from 1 to, now what is my t? T was the temporary variable I used for number of lines, right? So initially t will be equal to n, that is 4 in this case. Then I have j++. Now what happens here? If first time I equal to 1, condition is true, so it will go inside, j becomes 1, condition is true, because 1 is less than equal to, for example, n value is 4, so it is less than 4, so it will print star. Now in each row, as I have shown here, you have some pattern being formed, right? First time it is equal to the number of rows, right? Second time it decreases by 1. Third time again it is decreasing by 1 in the previous value. Here also you can see it is decreasing by 1. And what happens? Because I want to cover all the rows, right? I needed to store value of n somewhere. Okay, and in order to make the logic of this part, that is 4, 3, 2, 1, I used variable t, and it will keep on decreasing the value one by one. As you can see that we have to decrease the value. So here you can understand one thing. We can understand one thing, j equal to 1, j is less than equal to t, because first time I want 4, right? Now I must make a logic, 4 में से 3 कैसे बनाना है, तो उसको आपको डिक्रीमेंट करना पड़ेगा. So t is equal to t minus 1, or you can use t minus minus, right? So here when the condition is true, you will see that star will be printed. Okay, now first line I will print 4 stars, because less than equal to 2, first time the value of t is n, so it will be 4 times. But when it goes to the next line, I need to change something, that is from 4 से it becomes 3, क्योंकि 3 बार हमें symbol print करवाना है, right? So आप क्या करेंगे? Because the value I have stored is in t, so it will decrease by 1, it has to be decreased by 1. So that logic we have to specify. So that logic has been specified over here. To go to the new line, I have \n and t minus minus, it will allow me to decrease this. So I am making t minus minus because I want to make this logic. 4 में से मुझे 3 बनाना है, तो कैसे बनेगा? आपको t की वैल्यू को डिक्रीज करना है. अगर मैं यहाँ पर n माइनस माइनस लिखूंगी तो क्या होगा कि ये जो आपकी i की लूप n तक जानी चाहिए वो n तक नहीं जाएगी, बिकॉज एट एवरी column when you are printing, the value of n is going to be decreased. And what happens, instead of n equal to 4, it should go to the 4 rows, it will just print 2 rows and finish the program. We don't want that way. We want to go to all the rows and we want to print the number of symbols as per this logic, right? That is why we needed to take t. Now let me once again tell you that there may be different logics for the same problem, right? So this is not the final solution as some may assume, but you may have other logic also. So you may try your own logic and try to set this observation that we can find from the patterns that we are given. Always whenever you are given any pattern, try to find the observation, try to do the observation how we can find the relationship between the available variables to us. If in the worst case we cannot have any relationship between I, j, n, then you use some other variable to make your pattern. I hope I have cleared your doubts if any, and this may sound interesting to you. So t minus minus, I hope you have understood why I am doing t minus minus, because I want to decrease the number of symbols as per the logic I specified over here, right? So now when I execute this program, you can observe I am asking for the number of lines. So if I say 5, now you can see what is printed. I hope this is understood to you. You can see first line 5 symbols are printed, then second line 4 symbols are printed, then 3 symbols, 2 symbols and 1 symbol. So major logic that we have to understand is how to make the relationship between all these things. I hope this is clear. Let us see another program. This is a program and it was asked in one of the papers also. Write a program to print whether the given number is prime or not. I hope everybody knows the definition of prime number. The number which is divisible by 1 and itself is known as prime number. Now if I have one, how to make the logic? If I am going to find whether 7 is prime or not, the logic behind that would be I must divide this 7 by all the numbers from 1 to 6, right? But 1 it will always divide. As I told you, prime number is a number which is divisible by itself and 1. So we should not use 1 here. We can start from 2 to 6, right? So that means I am starting from 2, then 3, 4 till where? If this number I call it as n. So till n minus 1, I am going to, if my n, so I am going to perform modulo operation, n modulo I. If this numbers I call it as I equal to 2, 3, 4, 5, and I will perform this division. If somewhere it comes out to be 0, that means your number is not prime. But if does not come out to be 0, then your number is prime. Please try to understand. Now here it demands the need of looping structure, right? I hope you have understood why we need loop in this case, right? So here you can see that you have to start from 2, 3, 4, and then this is the main logic. You have to divide your number from all the numbers, that is from 2 to that number minus 1, okay? If it is divisible by any of the number, that shows that it is not a prime number, right? So let us see how the program is written. I have taken 3 variables. I will explain why the flag variable was needed. Then clear screen. This is a simple message which will print enter the number. Then scanf is going to take that number for which I am going to check prime number. Then I will start my loop from for I is equal to 2. As I told you that for 1 it is useless. No need to check actually for 1 because it will be divisible. All the numbers are going to be divisible by 1. Right? So we will start from 2, I less than n. So this ensures that it will be checking till n minus 1 less than, so n minus 1 and I plus plus. Now this is the main logic. If n modulo I, the value of I will keep on changing because it is inside the loop. If somewhere it comes out to be 0, that means for example I have taken number as 6. So when you divide with 2, it will come out to be 0. That shows that your number is not prime number. So when it comes out to be 0, no need to go ahead and check till 5. No need to go ahead and check till 5. So you should stop over here only. And just now we saw the jump statement that is break. So what break will allow us to do? Break will allow us to go out of the loop. मैंने जैसे आपको बताया कि I की वैल्यू आपने 2 से लेकर, अगर मेरी n की वैल्यू 6 है तो मुझे 5 तक उसको चेक करना है, तो 2 से लेके मैं 5 तक उसको चेक करती हूँ एंड फर्स्ट टाइम में ही मुझे पता चल गया कि इट इज डिविजिबल बाय 2, सो आई डोंट नीड टू कंटिन्यू एंड चेक फॉर 3 और 4 और 5, राइट? सो व्हाट शुड आई डू इन दैट केस? इफ इट कम्स आउट टू बी 0, मुझे ब्रेक कर देना चाहिए लूप. सो मैं ब्रेक करने के बाद यहाँ पे आ जाऊंगी इमीडिएटली आफ्टर लूप. बट एक चीज आप यहाँ पे समझने की कोशिश कीजिए कि ब्रेक होने के कंडीशन कौन कौन से है, एक तो अगर वो डिविजिबल नहीं है तो, एंड एक डिविजिबल है तो, दोनों केस में वो लूप से बाहर आएगा. अब हमें कैसे पता चलेगा कि वो किस रीजन से बाहर आया है, वाई इट हैज कम आउट ऑफ द लूप, वेदर द नंबर वॉज डिविजिबल सो इट केम आउट और वेदर द नंबर वॉज नॉट डिविजिबल सो इट केम आउट. सो इन ऑर्डर टू कीप अ ट्रैक कि because this condition was satisfied, okay, and it has come out, so I have used one simple variable. The value of that variable initially I made it as 0, and if this condition is satisfied, I call that value as flag. Normally we call it as flag, so you can use or any variable. There is no rule that you should use flag only, okay, you can use any variable. So I will change the value of flag over here. This will help me to track whether I have come out of the loop because of this reason or because my whole loop was executed. That means end of the loop has been arrived. Okay, so when I come here, if flag is equal to 0, that means initially जो value आपने 0 रखी थी ये assume करेगा कि आपका नंबर प्राइम है. अगर आप because of this condition बाहर निकले हो तो आपकी flag की value 1 हो जाएगी, तो आपका नंबर प्राइम नहीं है. I hope this logic has been understood. Let us run and see. First I am giving 9. It is not prime, right? Because it comes in table of 3. 3 3s are 9. So prime nahi hai. 11. It is prime. Why? Because it does not come in any of the table or it is not divisible by any number below 11 except 1. So this logic is working properly. So what was the unique thing that we used over here? One was introduction of any variable whenever required to trace any condition and of the break statement, right? And you have used for loop over here. Now this same program you can try with while, you can also try with do while. All the loops can be used for all kind of problems. Once again, let me tell you, there may be different logics for the same problem. So don't take it as a final version of the program. You can try your own logics. Let me take another example. Now the same program, but I have changed a little bit. What I have done, first time what I was doing, I used to take one value and check whether it is prime or not. But this time I want to do something like that. Okay, I want to print all the prime numbers between some given values. That means, for example, I want to print all the values between 50 to 100. Prime numbers, all the prime numbers value. Basic logic, if you have understood, that will always remain the same. But in this case, as you can see, I have to move from, for example, I want to find from 50 to 100, right? So one loop I will need to move this 50 to 51, then 50.